개화꽃을 사서 좋은 술을 가지고 옛 친구와 함께 뱃놀이를 가고 싶으나 옛 친구는 언제 다시 만날 수 있으려나.
Many people who own Zhongli know that he never shuts up and keeps on saying this line until your ears bleed off. Well, personally, I don't mind it as much, but that's the general opinion people have about it. And it's common knowledge that Zhongli has been separated from his friends due to their death or him retiring from archonship. Although, fun fact, there's a bit more depth to this voice line in the Asian dubs. They're normally translated as, "I decided to buy Osmanthus flowers and have a drinking party, but it's a shame, my old friends, if only we could meet again." This paints him as an even more lonely person, and it adds an element of yearning. Morax is a sensitive soul and values interpersonal relationships, as evidenced by his value of contracts. Thus, he has many friends, but is it safe to say that he was close to all of them? Compared to the other archons, he's surrounded by a lot of companions in the form of the Adepti, but many of them have also met their demise already, and those that are alive are more like Morax's mentees and or assistants rather than his actual equals. After Guizhong lost her life during the Archon War, Morax was robbed of his closest friend, and he was to never have any companion of equal closeness ever since. Or so people think. The thing is, there's evidence to suggest that Morax actually befriended someone somewhat closely after Guizhong's death, and this very special person would become the very person he's become greatly attached to and yearns to meet once more, as his idol voice line suggests. So yes, I assert that Zhongli has a sort of secret best friend, and I will describe this friend using the available information we have, which is actually surprisingly very accessible. Also, this is not actually a lore theory video, like there is just one single answer to this proposition. But I won't tell you so you can figure it out yourself, but it's actually very, very easy, to be honest. Anyway, let's get into it. It's interesting that Zhongli's idol voice line invokes drinking or wine, which seems normal because, adults often socialize by drinking leisurely, right? However, it's even more impactful when you consider that it was through wine that he first befriended this mysterious individual. Or rather, this person was the one to seek him out and befriend him. This friend waltzed into Liyue randomly one day, seemingly approaching the Lord of Geo for important business, only for this person to say, Nah, I'm not here for business or diplomacy or consultation, alright? I'm here simply because I feel like drinking with you." And Morax was initially shocked, like what's all this going on here? But this person was very persistent with their quest to befriend Yanwang Dijun, often visiting him even though they're apparently from another nation. It also seemed to become a habit for this person to deliver wine to Morax, giving you the idea that they had lots of access to it. Additionally, in return, he often visited this friend's homeland and obviously drank wine there again. Zhongli, possessing ever-refined taste buds, claims that the wine his friend used to bring is far superior to that of snake wine from Sumeru. Basically, you can say that wine really is a particularly strong glue between Zhongli and this secret friend of his. Don't be mistaken though, it's not that they're friends because of the constant wine supply, but their frequent indulgence in wine implies that they used to hang out very, very often, and that drinking together is an expression of their close bond with each other. In fact, it's said that this friend asked him tons and tons of unusual questions, practically as much as the wine this person loved to drink, further signifying that their drinking sessions together were full of vibrant conversations. Actually, some of those conversations got so vibrant that this friend poured wine all over Zhongli's head. Usually, most people would be terrified of doing such a thing, and for good reason, because they're likely to incur the wrath of the Lord of Geo the god of martial arts who allowed stone spears to rain on. You get it. However, when it comes to this friend's disrespectful actions, all Zhongli could say was, "The next time you get drunk and pour wine on my head, I shall be quite angry." Like, he really delayed getting mad at this person. Like, what a lukewarm warning from the Yanwang Dijun himself. He could have beaten them up right there and then, but instead he said, "I'll get angry next time." On one level, he's postponing his anger, and on another level, his threat to this person is that he'll get angry. It's not like he's even threatening to hurl stone spears at this person. He's just hinting that he'll be pissed. Additionally, this friend had the audacity to forge the Lord of Geo's signature multiple times for fun, but there was this one instance where they really went in hard and used Morax's signature to deceive tons of people for a political cause, basically to force them to join a rebellion. Interestingly, we don't actually know how Morax himself reacted to this, so we can't tell if this made him mad or not, but it's safe to say that they still remained friends even after this incident. I mean, this friend already got to perform forgery pranks tons of times before, and Morax didn't break off their friendship. So why would he now, right? These little anecdotes show exactly how shameless Zhongli's best friend was, but more importantly, it's a sign that they're equals through and through. Morax as a god was widely feared due to his immense combat prowess, and even as an administrator, he can be very intimidating because of the sheer amount of power he holds and the reach of his influence. However, this friend is probably negative 50% intimidated by Zhongli, likely because they view themselves as a direct equal of Morax. And yeah, that's a good assessment considering Zhongli literally said he'll get angry next time. This seems to hint at this person's level of power, not necessarily that they're also an incredibly fearsome god, but that they had a lot of charisma, credibility, and maybe even some wisdom, enough for Yanwang Dijun to perceive them as someone worthy of respect. Of course, it's not like Zhongli approves of everything this person does, but he clearly hesitates to reprimand them as if he were in a position of power over them. One of the most defining qualities of Zhongli in the present day is his elegance and refined taste, which extends all the way from cuisine to precious minerals. Obviously, the same can be said about his approach to performing arts, as we can often find Zhongli listening to creative renditions of Liyue's legends, most of which are about him. He enjoys spectating these art forms with a keen eye for quality. That's why he's dubbed as the listener in his character demo. Thus, it's no surprise at all that Zhongli would cherish a friendship with such a performing artist like his secret best friend. Remember that quote I mentioned earlier about him effectively postponing his anger towards his friend? Well, the full line is this, in which he first states that this friend's performance was unmatched throughout the land. Although it sounds like an exaggeration, Zhongli doesn't tend to make sweeping statements without at least some level of truth to it. So dubbing this person's performance as unmatched throughout the land could indicate that Zhongli loves this person's poetry or singing so much that he couldn't help but use superlatives, or it could also mean that this person is just factually the most competent singer across Tivat based on traditional standards and popular opinion. To be honest, I think it's both. Zhongli's friend is likely an amazing artist on both the objective and subjective level. I feel like this matters a lot to Zhongli because he's been hardened by war, and so someone who can help him appreciate the beauty of life through heavenly music would be very valuable to him. Well, talent alone can't maintain friendships, but this is something special that his friend is able to offer to Zhongli, and as an art connoisseur, he's likely grateful for the opportunity to always have a front row seat to such an amazing concert every time they meet. It can soften the stone god's heart, and that's also important for his well-being, isn't it? More than all of that, of course, there must be deeper reasons why Zhongli still values his friendship with this person even if they haven't been able to meet since the cataclysm. It's not just the wine or their equal status or the art. The answer probably lies in some shared experience they have and the understanding and support they provide each other with. Until his retirement, Yanwang Dijun had been working as Liyue's Archon, and so anyone whose presence could feel like a breath of fresh air for him must have been immensely valuable. Someone who likely saw him for more than just his status as an Archon. Someone who cared about him deeply too, in spite of some minor differences. Someone who has been persistent about maintaining their friendship, and someone who is kind, gentle, soulful, witty, wise, and of course, a whole lot of fun. Someone who can ultimately ease Morax's feeling of loneliness. That kind of friendship is beautiful, and so I hope that they can find a way to keep in touch again. Well, if you think this person is still around for that, then Zhongli will finally be able to fulfill that wish he has deep in his heart, which he keeps on yammering on and on about in his idle voice line. So with all the hints I've given you so far, do you think you can guess who Zhongli's secret best friend is? I promise if you have any basic lore knowledge whatsoever, you'd realize it's right under your nose. I think this information just doesn't register for most people because they still think that these two don't get along, which is just downright false. Anyway, if you're confident with your answer, you can leave your guess as a comment down below. And while you're at it, why not leave a like to show appreciation for this video? If you adore Zhongli and this analysis about his interpersonal relationships, maybe you should consider subscribing to my channel, where I make lots of analysis videos like this one that are very character lore oriented. That's all for today, and I'll see you next time.